Hello everyone, my name's Ozumitsu and today I'm bringing you another episode of my Evolution Solution series. Click on the annotation on screen to watch my first ever episode of this series where I discuss the phenomenon in its entirety. If you are watching from a mobile device or you have annotation switched off, there's a fancy little icon on the top right hand corner of the screen that will link you to the entire Evolution Solution series playlist. Clever, huh? If you can't be bothered to do that, long story short, this series involves comparing an unevolved Pokemon with its evolutionary counterpart. Today we're discussing eviolite Scyther and Scizor, but today I have a very special friend helping me out with this video.
Ayo, it's Una here, and Ozzy, thank you so much for having me on your channel.
It's great to have you with us, Eunastasia. Let's not muck around, let's get right into today's topic. Let's start off with eviolite Scyther. Scyther is a bug and flying type. It hasn't really been blessed with the best typing, although it suits the concept of Scyther perfectly. What this means is it's nice that it's immune to ground type moves because of its part flying typing, but it does mean it has a 4 times weakness to rock, whilst being 2 times weak to flying, fire, electric and ice.
It also has some interesting abilities such as Swarm, Technician and Steadfast. When a Pokemon with Swarm uses a bug type move, the power will increase by 1.5 times if the user has less than or equal to a third of its maximum HP remaining.
Its other ability is Technician, which is such a great one. If a move has a base power less than or equal to 60, the damage will be multiplied by 1.5 times, so you can do a lot of interesting stuff with that.
Finally, Scizor has a pretty interesting hidden ability. Steadfast increases the user's speed stat by 1 stage when flinched, which is pretty useful for Scizor with its already high speed base stat.
Let's take a look at Scyther's stats. It's a bit like Scolipede, it has a pretty respectable physical attack stat whilst being quite speedy. When it holds eviolite, it has a nice 50% increase in its physical and special defense, which allows Scyther to survive a few more hits in battle.
I think using eviolite as a sacrifice for a health item is a pretty safe option. There is not much Scizor could really benefit from otherwise. I mean, there is Life Orb for the extra buff in its attack, but there are so many other ways in setting up stat increases.
One of the main things letting Scyther down is the damage it would inflict from stealth rocks. Damn.
It has access to such great moves like Sword Stance for setting up stat boosts, and moves like Aerial Ace can go down really well, especially if Scizor has the Technician ability.
If I were to run an eviolite Scyther set, I'd probably run the following. It's a bit of an interesting one. Although it's holding eviolite, it is still good to run an all guns blazing set. A good set for me personally would be the following: an Adamant Nature with max hit point, max attack and the rest in speed. Running Sword Stance, Bug Bite powered up with Technician, but it is a tutor move. If you don't want to run that, you can opt for Scizor, but you're not benefiting from the boost with Technician. Also, Bug Bite has an opportunity to consume your foe's berry, but you can also run alongside it Aerial Ace, which never misses, and Roost for nice consistent recovery. If however you did not want to run that set, you can opt for the fast bulky support set as followed: Substitute, Sword Stance with Baton Pass, and you can run Aerial Ace if you really wanted to, just in case you get taunted. Of course, a nice counter to this in doubles will be having Aromatisse as your ally, because she has the Aroma availability, as I always say, which protects you from moves like Taunt. But with this set, go with a Jolly Nature with max hit points, max speed and the rest in attack. The idea here is to set up a couple of Sword Stances and then a Baton Pass into another mon to wreck and clean house. Moving on to Scizor, as some people say Scizor. Scizor evolves from Scyther when traded holding a metal coat. Scizor has been blessed with a dual typing of Bug and Steel, which means it loses a lot of its weaknesses. With the introduction of Fairy, it's nice to be able to comfortably switch into Scizor, knowing you'll probably resist a lot of what your opponent is going to throw your way. And the poison immunity over a ground immunity is pretty useful in my opinion. Going back to abilities, Scizor shares the same abilities as Scyther as we have spoken about, but it also has an ability that Scyther doesn't: Light Metal. The user's weight is halved. This decreases the damage taken from Low Kick and Grass Knot, increases the damage taken from Heavy Slam and Heat Crash, and also uses the base power of Heavy Slam and Heat Crush due to the moves being calculated by the target and user's weight.
But this is obsolete when he Mega evolves, so it doesn't necessarily give Scizor an edge over Scizor. Ozzy.
Oh yeah, I forgot, Mega Scizor's only ability is Technician. Bullet Punch anyone?
Okay, Ozzy. Jeez. Its resistance to Normal, Bug, Steel, Water resistance to Grass, Psychic, Ice, Dragon and Fairy is incredible. It's a shame it's 4 times weak to Fire though. Just gonna stand there and watch me burn.
Although Fire is a common type, I'd rather it be 4 times weak to just Fire and that being its only threat, as opposed to having a 4 times weakness to Rock with the addition of regular weaknesses to 4 other types.
Scizor's stats are quite bulky, so I can see where you're coming from. Noticeably, you can see that Scizor is a lot slower than Scyther, which is letting it down, but with that respectively 130 attack stat, you can't really go wrong.
Plus, a Bullet Punch will out-prioritize a Mon that would have outsped you in the first instance. It is a bit of a tough one because the whole purpose of Scyther originally is to be a physical sweeper. It's fast enough to do that. However, Scizor isn't. A 65 speed stat isn't really going to benefit Scizor that much, because although its attack stat is respectable, it'll be taken down before it can even get to attack. Many common Pokemon like Charizard, Ninetales, Delphox and Blaziken can easily OHKO Scizor. However, because Scizor isn't wasting an item slot with eviolite, it can hold its Mega Stone for an impressive increase to its physical attack and defense. Looking at its Mega stats do show the sacrifice of speed is totally worth it, and in my opinion somewhat outclasses its pre-evolution, contrary to popular belief. Do you want to know why? The idea of eviolite is to use it on a Pokemon that are by nature defensive, thus making them more so. Using on Scyther is kind of pointless because Scyther's only point is to hit hard and fast. The best nature hands down for Scizor is Adamant. Similarly with Scyther, it won't have any use in its special attack, but it'll need the physical attack stat because it excels in this. Here is a set I personally use. Max attack, 116 special defense and 96 in HP. Run Swords Dance, Bullet Punch, Bug Bite or Quick Attack or Pursuit. You can opt for Roost if you really wanted to.
Thinking about it in more detail, if Scyther does hold eviolite and has approximately 120 base defense and special defense stat, although it is quite useful, I cannot help but think it doesn't really add to Scyther's roles in competitive play. Assuming both have all 0 IVs, 0 EVs, neutral natures at level 100, Scyther and Scizor stats are as followed. Scyther with eviolite would have an HP stat of 250, an attack stat of 225, a defense stat of 247, a special attack stat of 115, a special defense stat of 247, and a speed stat of 215. And Scizor would have an HP stat of 250, an attack stat of 265, a defense stat of 205, a special attack stat of 115, a special defense stat of 165, and a speed stat of 135. What we can see from here is that they are identical when it comes to their HP stat and special attack, but Scyther excels in defense, special defense and speed, whereas Scizor outshines in physical attack.
Now I know what you guys are thinking. Ozzy, surely this means Scyther is clearly better, but I still disagree. I don't think Scyther really benefits from the added bulk. He is supposed to be, in my opinion, a physical sweeper and nothing else. The added bulk and defenses aren't really going to add to anything. All in all, if it were up to me, I'd go for the evolved Scizor, and more importantly, Mega Scizor. Sorry Scyther. What about you, Yuna?
I agree with you, Ozzy. I've never used the eviolite before, so I might try it out on Scyther one day, but I also prefer Scizor because it has many resistances and also Mega Evolution, which looks really awesome. Once again, thank you so much, Ozzy, for this awesome collab. Alright, thanks for watching and bye bye!
Also, what about you guys? Which Pokemon do you prefer? Do you prefer Scyther? Do you prefer Scizor? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to pop over on Unastasia's channel where we did a funny little metronome battle, and while you're over there, why not subscribe to her too? Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on this video as it will really help me out. Follow me on all my social media platforms, but I'm Ozimitsu. Until next time.